and we are live on YouTube. Hey everybody, this is Scott Schweitzer. I am the host of Clydesdale Fitness and Friends. I've got my co-host Amy here. We've got our friends Emily and Kyle Rolfe, and we're going to have some fun tonight. It is late here on the Midwest East Coast, whatever you want to call that, but we do that for our friends.
We do.
So
it's normal time.
It's fine here.
So we're with Emily and Kyle. If you don't know, Emily is I like to say 4-time CrossFit Games athlete.
I like to say that too. Okay.
Some people like to say 3. I'm going to call it 4. But Kyle is definitely a 4-time CrossFit Games coach.
Are you like number one pit crew?
Oh yeah. I can change a tire in less than 3 seconds, no problem.
There you go.
The only one, the only pit crew.
Yeah.
I wear all the hats.
So let's start there. We actually were talking to Jeff Adler and Caroline Lambre on Sunday, and we were talking about how the relationship is with coach athlete and husband wife, or fiancés as they are, and that it's becoming very common. Like Christy and Patrick and Shane and Tia, it's almost more normal to be married couples and coaches than not.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you spend as much time as I do training, it's like, well, when are we going to spend time together?
Yeah.
If you're not coaching me, so you might as well join in.
Exactly. Yeah. I live vicariously through Emily. Basically, is what I do. I think is I go there and people are like, "Oh, hi, Kyle." I'm like, "Hi." I have no idea who you are, but hey.
Yeah, like we'll go to a CrossFit comp and everyone, like even Sarah and I are pretty close, and she's like, "Oh, hey, Emily," like whatever, and then she sees Kyle, and she gets more excited, and I was like, "Why everyone's more friends with Kyle than me?"
Well, we actually talked to somebody this afternoon.
Yes, we did.
Who wanted to say hi to the posh Canadian.
This interview is ending very suddenly. Oh my dear. McQuaid is in for it. That woman.
Did she tell you the story on that?
Yeah, she said that she didn't know he was English, and so she just thought he was a posh Canadian.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, like, if we go back to England and he sees his friends, they'll be like, "Oh, you have a Canadian twang. Like, you sound a little hillbilly, like Canadian."
I'm not accepted anywhere.
No,
I'm like an American Express.
Like
no one takes it.
Scott's dog.
This is a safe space for you, Kyle.
Oh, good.
We'll accept you.
Thank you so much. Someone will. I'm loved by Clydesdale. There you go.
But she actually did say that she loves you guys and wanted to say hi and was excited that you guys are going to be on tonight. But she did want me to call you that and see your reaction.
That's okay. Her time will come.
Yeah, she better watch her back at the games
exactly,
now.
Yeah.
You have it over her.
She's good. She's awesome. She's a super nice girl.
So I know I got to spend some time with Kyle at Granite Games, and most times he was still hooked up to the defibrillator. And he said that you promised that this event you weren't gonna make him have to use that, but there was again event 2, and he was under cardiac arrest.
The AED said shock advice for sure. People are like, everybody's rushing to press the button.
I think that was one of our smoothest competitions.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty smooth.
Oh, so smooth. Yeah. Smooth as a rough piece of sandpaper.
So it was an interesting event because you had 5 top 5s out of 6 events.
Yeah, I think I was second, third, fourth, and a fifth or something. Something like that.
I have it here somewhere. Yeah, 5th, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, 4th.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And then the weightlifting.
Yeah.
Hey, that's all right. 22nd is still a placing, okay?
Yeah.
So we knew the weightlifting wasn't going to be like the other workout. It wasn't going to be top 5. Shot in the dark, a top 10. So I knew I was going to be what did I say to you? I was like, I'm going to be 15th to 25th in that workout. Like, so we kind of expected it. I hit what I needed to hit on the first attempt. I just went out there and just went for it.
We planned that.
And then really kind of unfortunate that I missed that 205 at the end, but
That damn slippy surface again, hey?
it's slippy out there.
Yeah, we did hear about that with all the pellets and everything on the.
My back
we'll blame
foot-
it on that, Amy.
Okay.
No, my back foot, if you like, you could see it just slid away, and I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that was annoying. So that was disappointing. But other than that, I mean, it was kind of what we expected, and I wasn't in shock or whatever. And I just like, you know what, Haley Adams, same thing. Christy Aramel, really, what was she, like 19th place after day one? So I was like,
Yeah.
what? Like, my girls made it through. I'm just gonna do the same.
If you look at that event in totality throughout the whole of the semifinals, I mean, it was great. It was one of those events that throughout, like Emily opened at 200, which was a huge feat for Emily and herself to start with. To be quite honest, we've been working a lot on our weightlifting, and the weights that Granite Games the girls were throwing up was pretty impressive. I mean, you had obviously Danny Spiegel, Amanda Barnhart. Gazan threw up some pretty good weight. There's some really big lifts. I'm looking at it like, well, I wouldn't be able to open with some of this. So I'm not by any means strong, but I'm not weak either. But when you look at that and I'm like, this is pretty impressive stuff. And then you had the guys do exactly the same. And I'm just like, this is a tough field. So to have that and to still came where Emily did is quite monumental.
Over 6 events. It's tough to, like at the games, we're going to have 15 usually.
Yeah.
And you have a couple bad events. Well, it doesn't kill you as much, but 6 events is like.
Yeah. And that was kind of my follow-up question was, and I actually talked to Christy about this a little bit. Like back in the regional days, the strength were like ladders.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like a pure 1 rep max or a barbell complex, but you had to like go ladder to ladder. So there was some speed with it. You had to move. And she thinks by going even more strength, it's tipping the scale too far to that in a 6 event weekend.
I agree, because 6 events really is, 1/6 of that is a pure strength. They don't have another event that's like a pure run or like something else that's going to be, okay, the cardio queen is going to take that for sure. Like nothing else is that, what am I trying to say? Like one thing.
Dominant over.
Yeah, it comes down to an overall fitness, right? It's not just that one event. You can have one.
Sorry, he's saying like it has too much weighting almost. Some people are arguing.
No pun intended, too much. She doesn't even mean to do it. She's just a genius. She's great. Yeah, too much weighting. I mean, look at the quarterfinals. So the last chance quarterfinals has just happened. It's 4 events. Like it's monumental, the difference in regards to points and placings and stuff like that. You know, you have 2 really good events and 2 not so good
Luckily,
events.
those were all CrossFit. Whereas last year there was
a
strength event in that. And it's like,
I
that's
don't
a
know.
quarter.
That thruster event is pretty up
but
there.
That's still CrossFit. That's moderate weight. It's not a 1 rep max.
It's moderate weight for people that are elite athletes. Anyway, it's not moderate weight for those who are not. Obviously.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I agree.
So when you're going over programming, are these the conversations back and forth?
it's more of arguments, to be fair, rather than conversations.
Yeah.
And Emily wins every time.
So anyway, regardless of that, like you were in a stacked field, and on top of that, right? And we don't need to get into the drama as to why that was a stacked field, but it was a stacked field. You were the only person in the top 7 to have a 20 or less finish and still made the games. Like that's how stacked that field was.
Yeah.
It took you hitting home runs to get back.
Yeah, which I think for me as an athlete, like I'm lucky for that. I like that. If I can hit a home run, then it's gonna. But you know what? I like coming into day 2. I finished second in both workouts or second and a third. And usually when you do that, you skyrocket up the leaderboard, right? And I moved like 2 spots and I was like, cool. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it was tough because the girls I needed to beat were getting 3rd, 4th, 5th. Like they weren't tanking, which was like, you can't do anything about it. You can't do what other people do, but that was frustrating too. Cause I'm like, man, except for Mal, I'm beating everyone and I'm still barely moving. Like I'm still having to claw my way back up.
But that also shows in regards to how much consistency is an important factor of this. And what's beautiful about CrossFit is not just looking at that 1 rep max lift. It's looking at the totality of everything, and then it puts it in. And you know, people like Holly, it came 6th. It's not Holly, sorry. Chloe. That's right. Sorry, my apologies, Chloe. Sorry, Chloe. Look at that. I told you I don't know anybody. But Chloe came, I think her lowest place was 7th.
She had a bunch of 7s.
Right. So the fact that she came so had consistently amazing placings and still didn't make it, like that shows you that how tough it is out there these days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was my final point, is that it used to be in the old days, you know, if you could average finish of 7th, you were going to make the games.
Yeah.
Now she did that, but she hit no home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You almost need that one big event to get you into the top 5 as well.
Yeah.
Or in Emily's case, 5 top 5s to make up for the 1.
Yeah.
And it took every bit of that to get you in there, because there were only 9 points between 4th and 6th.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, it was tight.
I think it was one of the closest fields. I think Mac
Brooke Wells was, there was not very many points between 4th and 6th there either.
There were two points between 4th and 6th there.
And then Lowlands, sorry, not Lowlands, Strength and Depth was quite close as well, right?
Oh, with Katrin. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean,
I don't think it was as close as the media made it out to be.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, either way, it's great for competition to show that, like, you know, and it's sad to have certain people not make the games and whatever, who've been, you know, there for the OGs, so to speak, or, you know, for a long time. But to show that the caliber of athletes that are coming out and how people are improving throughout as well, like they're developing, it's becoming a very deep pool of people. Like, it's going to be very interesting, this CrossFit Games. I really do think so.
Well, one of the things Scott was talking about earlier today when we were chatting was, because of COVID and because the lack of live events, there were so many athletes that we didn't get to see that might have been progressing or might have been, you know, relevant in the sport, but kind of had a year or so off because we weren't doing live events.
Yeah. I mean, 2020 was my year. Just kidding.
Of course it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Still salty after that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, these things happen, and you know, there's, as I said, there's so much depth there. There's new girls coming through. There's people always getting better, you know, and it's very interesting. It's a very interesting time in the sport. It's quite cool to be. Not that I'm part of it, but it's kind of cool to be involved in it, like to see how it's developing. And it is becoming a very professionalized sport. It is becoming very well known, and the depth of everything is incredible throughout. Like, look at the guys, look at the girls. There's names. There's been some shockers. There's been some, like, oh, I wasn't expecting that, and then, oh, this guy's done this, or he's worked on that throughout the year, or they've worked on this. And it's really cool. It's cool to see.
Yeah, if you look at the names in the Last Chance Qualifier alone, like, that just shows you where we are in the newness of the sport. So speaking of that,
a dogfight.
our girl Ariel, won the Last Chance Qualifier. We were all stoked for that.
Yeah.
In an interview I saw, she said that she was in contact with you,
mm-hmm.
getting a little bit of strategy.
Yeah. I mean, all four of us,
Yeah.
you, Dylan, me, and Ariel, were
Yeah.
all like chatting all week as soon as the workouts were announced.
I called it. I hasten to add. I said she's going to either come first or second, and I said hopefully first. So.
Did you test out any of the athletes? Or
you know what? That was the plan, to test a couple for her, because she was going to do a couple for me at Granite Games. That's kind of like we try to help each other out because we both don't really have teammates, so it's kind of nice. And if we're not competing against each other, like why not?
Yeah.
Also, because Dylan's my bro. Hi, Dylan.
But yeah, we're friends, so like I want to help her. She wants to help me. I did my part. She told me at Granite Games, she's like, please make the games so we're not competing. I'm not competing against you at Last Chance. And I was like, but yeah, I didn't end up testing any for her because I tweaked my knee a little bit there. So I was just taking it easy that week. But yeah, we were texting back and forth strategy. She's like, just, the usual, like, oh, I'd do this. I'd probably break this into this. Like, you need to be done at this time. We're talking about the row. And she's like, do you think if I row in this amount? And I was like, no, like, I don't. You got to go faster than that. Like, brutally honest. But like, I also know she's capable of doing that. So if she says, like, I'm going to row at this, and I'm like, I don't think that's good enough, I'm going to tell her. And she did well. Between
the four of us, the tactician-wise, I think Emily and Errol have a really good relationship. Dylan and I do as well. And I think Emily really, at some points, and to Errol was like, you need to do this. And Errol was like, okay, that's what I got to do. I'm going to go and do it. And she did. And that's why she did as well as she did.
One thing that surprised me, because Ariel's kind of new on the scene for us, is I was standing right beside lane 10 at Syndicate. She is so good on her hands and so fast. And I think she doesn't realize it. And I think you're right. She had to go fast on that row because to take advantage of more time on her hands. And she killed that workout.
The way that event was, like, if you're too slow on the row, you just can't, I don't care how fast you are on your hands, like, you can't catch up. Like, if you're really that slow. And that's kind of what she was thinking. And I was like, you got to go quicker. But you can't, she nailed it. So.
You can't go so quick at the same time. This is that you're gassed and you're like, oh, I don't want to go upside down, because a lot of people don't breathe while they're upside down.
Yeah, it is hard to breathe when you're handstand walking.
I wouldn't know. I can't handstand walk.
I had the handstand hold at a competition and almost died holy crap. So anyway, we have some partners, fantasyfitnessing.com. They run a fantasy sports game for CrossFit. You can draft people. I've drafted Emily before. She's done well for me. The rest of my team is not, but Emily always does well when I draft her. And so I'm going to share my screen because they did a stat sheet on you.
Oh.
Ooh, numbers.
And I'm not really quick at this yet, but we'll get there. Okay. So this is like a lot of stuff.
Oh, wow.
So this is just from 2020 forward, because 2020 was your favorite year. I made sure they included that. But it looks at
2019 was my favorite year. What are you on about? That was my breakout year.
Yeah. So anyway, it looks at every event, your final ranking, average event finish, top fives, all of that kind of stuff. What I wanted to show you first is your time domain. I know you're going to be shocked by this, but your event finishes at 10 to 20 minutes and over 20 minutes, especially over 20 minutes, are phenomenal. That's not shocking, right?
No, I figured that.
You have to walk through a door sideways. You over your head in a minute, eh?
I'm just trying to make sense.
Then the other thing I was going to show you is they take every event. So if the event had a burpee in it, it's in this line. If it had a clean in it, it's in this line. And I figured you'd be really good at wall balls, but what showed up also was toes to bar.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, toe to bar, my jam.
Now that's because of Dubai 2019 is why she's good at toes to bar.
Yeah, so that workout in Dubai was like, what was it, 60 cal echo bike into 60 total bar. That was it. That was the workout.
Ah.
And I was like, sweet, I can win that. They announced before the workout, it's $10,000 if you win this event. Like it's like a so
Dude, that light of fire.
I'm first off the bike. I was like, perfect. I can knock out Toda Bar. I think
Emily did an Emily mistake.
I opened with a big set of 30 something, 35, 40.
Yeah, and then dropped.
Died. And Sam Briggs, got to give it to her. Just
and Jim Briggs came through and went, thanks very much. I'll take $10,000. Thank you.
Yeah, and ever since then, because before that, I was like, I'm great at Toda Bar. I don't need to do it. And then I lost that workout, and then I was like, okay, you're not going to Toda Bar.
We changed a little bit of things and how things work and whatnot. And then that's why when the event at the game, what was that, 3 or 4?
Doesn't matter.
Whatever it was, yeah. The one after the E. coli incident, anyway. So
yeah.
So now
that's why.
Like the one where she beat my coach at the very end.
Yes. Sorry, Christy.
Yeah. Were you? I know I've asked you this. But were you wearing Reeboks?
I was. Thank goodness. I didn't bring a pair. Not thinking, and then so luckily,
go to the store.
we have a very good friend, Jordan, who works for Reebok. He's an absolute diamond.
Kyle calls him. He's like, Emily's gonna win this event. I was like, let's not go that far, but but you were pretty confident. Glad one of us was. Well,
and with Hustle, you don't have a shoe deal, right?
No, so I can wear whatever I want right now.
And they upped the ante to $12,000 this year.
Saw that. That's quite an incentive.
Hopefully they're going to put a running shoe in that. They haven't put a running shoe in it yet. So
yeah, we need some longer workouts. You can wear some of those Reeboks too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So speaking of Reebok, my guy Kyle just got a gift bag today.
Kyle posted on Instagram twice in the last week, and I'm like, what is going on?
I never use social media, but I had to give a shout out. Like I said, Jordan, he's a buddy of mine. He works for Reebok. He's super nice. I try and speak to him every time I go to competition, and I speak to him out of competition as well, whatever. But he's so kind to me. He goes above and beyond.
He's always getting you shoes to match your hustle.
Yeah, exactly. He's very, very kind to me and Emily's coach, Brett, as well. And I can never say enough about the guy. He's such a nice dude. And we do all we can for him. Not that I can do anything for him, but I love the dude. He's a super, super cool guy. So it's nice to have him. And
well, Jordan, my name is Scott Schweitzer. I live in Columbus, Ohio.
So
I have worn Reeboks since I started CrossFit.
Kyle, do you test any of these workouts out with Emily?
How do you say no in every language? No.
But to be fair, no, he's not going to go down in the gym and be like, I'm going to test this for you and give you a good thing, whatever.
Nope.
No.
Not even with a female weight.
But to be fair, he's really good at like analyzing and thinking about it and like putting numbers on paper and being like, okay, well, you row at this pace, so it'll take you 23 seconds and then 5-second transition. Like he'll figure all that out, which is probably like, it's way more analytical, and it probably helps me a lot more than being like, oh, sweet, you just did the workout. Okay, how did it feel like? And then he'd be like, oh, I rushed this and I probably should have broke that up. Like he thinks through it a lot more, which is great.
I've been coaching in some sort of capacity for 22 years in some sort of capacity. Mm-hmm. And I've done numerous different sports and numerous different points of coaching. So I'm by no means a great athlete. I'm a moderate athlete, and I have had my moments. But I can, and I don't want to toot my own horn too much here, but I can look at something and I can analyze something, and I have a pretty good eye in regards to where something can be more efficient or you can make up time.
Mhm.
And
Or where you're gonna lose
and
time.
yeah, or where you're going to lose time. And Emily, I mean, I'm looking at her books over there. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 books, and I'm talking books of all their training that's there, plus the 8th one that's on the side that's going at the moment.
That one's on the go.
Like, just grab a book and show them. Like, it's basically half a notepad, and every single workout is recorded and written, so we can look back over and go, I know you did this, this, and this. I know this worked, this, and this. And like for stuff like rowing times, for bike calories, all that kind of stuff. We have all that information. Like you say that spreadsheet kind of thing you just showed that. Well, we've got that for ourselves, and we go over it, and then we review workouts that people have done and go, okay, this is a standard now. And then you look at, okay, well, Cristiano did 330. Did she do for the rope climb or something like that? And then you think, all right, it's 2 seconds. You're absolutely right. It does make all the difference.
Yes.
But you look at that and you go, okay, well, this is what she got. But then you also have to think about, well, that event was earlier on in the competition. So you've got to think of fatigue and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we do as a team. And it's not just me and Emily. I run a lot of stuff by Brett as well. And we've developed that over the time. And we just have a 3-way,
very much calculated.
Yeah, it's a 3-way communication.
So you have a threesome. Got it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah,
Okay.
I was going to put it in that terminology.
Yeah.
You decide to be appropriate.
Yeah. You took it over the line. The line's are dotty right now, Amy.
But here's my question, because I think that it's very unique that, being a spouse, that your spouse, the best, and that how they'll react in certain situations. But how do you find that balance of giving honest feedback and being their support person?
Oof, he's brutally honest. Like, I have to have a tough exterior, I would say. And then more just like when he's coaching me, he's my coach, and he's going to tell me something that's I might not want to hear, and I don't want to do it, but it's going to make me better. It's what he thinks I need to do. It's not because he doesn't love me or he's mad at me or things that. And then when we're not training, he's not my coach, and he's my husband. And then if he says something mean, then I take it personally.
And usually I get hurt. That's fine. Domestic violence, whatever. It's fine.
No.
There's a prime example was at Dubai, and Emily needed to pull it out of the bag a little bit and buck her ideas up. And
I had a really bad event.
To say the least. It was like the clean and jerk, but on steroids kind of thing. And it was like, okay, you got to. So what I did was, for better use of the phrase, I pissed her off. And I know how to do that.
Yeah.
I've been in a relationship for nearly 10 years with her, so I've got a pretty good idea how I can poke the bear, so to speak. Whilst I'm doing that, unbeknownst to Emily, I'm typing an apology letter on my phone.
So you used it as a tool.
Yeah. So I write this whole apology letter, and I'm writing it while she
across. Didn't Craig come up to you? He's like, "Why is she over there and you're on the cross?" And he's like,
"Yeah, she's downrange." I'm like, "I'm out of the way." It was a good probably 150 foot between us, I think, at that point. But anyway, so I'd written this letter on my phone, and then she went and won an event at Dubai, and then came third or something, or fourth or whatever in the next one. And then after the event, because it was a back-to-back thing, I said, now that you've done that, here's my apology. And I'd already written the apology, and she read it, and she just went, fine. and fine to me is actually an acronym. It's feelings inside, not expressed. It's basically I'm in real trouble, but what else? We'll get through the rest of the weekend. So, yeah.
Well, how's the workout today? It was fine. Everything was fine.
Everything was fine. Yeah. Okay.
And then you're like, okay,
got it.
Was it good?
Yeah.
We'll unpack that later then.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you are the only athlete to have done all of the off-season competitions, the big ones.
Yeah.
Looking back now, was that a smart decision, or do you think you would do it differently if you could?
Oof, that's hard. I think I'm not going to do it again this year. That's for sure. So you might say, okay, well, she regrets it. I don't regret it. Doing it was great. I learned, we took away some good things that helped me throughout this year from each of those competitions. So I don't regret doing it, but yeah, after Wapalooza, I was like, like, I think if the season started right after, I would have been screwed. Like, and then probably we wouldn't have done that. But I knew that I had a break after Wapalooza, and I was like, you know what, we're going to take an actual break.
Yeah.
And came back refreshed and ready to hit the season. And
Get bitten on the ass by a pig in the Bahamas, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were vicious.
I'm about to move on. He says something that just doesn't let me.
I know. That was all I wanted to do for my birthday, because my birthday was like right after Wapalooza, and I was like, oh, let's go swimming with the pigs in Bahamas, because it's right there, Florida. And it was the best day. I had a blast.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
They were scary. Like, they always thought you had food, and if like you didn't feed them food, they would like nip at you
and legit.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Sorry?
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah, it does.
Such a thing.
Swim with the pigs?
Yes.
I was going to say she could swim with me for free, but she paid for it, so it's fine.
I paid a lot for it. Yes. Yeah. I think every girl from the age of like 20 to 40, that's like their life thing, wants to go swim with pigs. Yeah. Maybe not, but
I worked on a farm for a summer. I don't want to go anywhere near a pig.
Yeah.
But they're so cute. You saw the photos.
I think I missed those. Did I miss? I
DM you one.
Thanks. My life will be complete. So with all those competitions and going into this season, like, you guys get so much swag. And what kind of tipped me off this is, Kyle bragging about his 3 shoes, but like, you go to the games, you get like, you need 2 suitcases just to get the stuff out of there.
The stories there, I tell you.
And now you're with Hustle. They're sending you stuff all the time. Yeah. You go to Dubai, you get your jerseys and stuff there. Yeah. You go to Rogue, you get the full cowgirl outfit.
Yeah,
like you crank along.
There's a story there. We'll put a pin in that one. We'll come back to that.
But you're right. Yeah, the 2 suitcase thing. And mine, I'm a horrible packer. So I pack every single variation of every single outfit and then wear none of it.
Yeah.
So my suitcase is already like on the brink of over the
70
limit
pounds,
on our way.
over 70 pounds.
So I don't know how I expect. So on the way back from Rogue, Kyle would she was like, it's over, the girl at the thing. So Kyle rips it open. He's like, had enough at this point, because this happens every time. Rips it open, like throws my cowboy boots at me, throws my belt. He's like, put this on, put your boots on, put your hat on.
So I reduced her. So her luggage weighed in, I think they put it on the scale, and it was like 65 pounds. I took out a pair of cowboy boots, a hat, like a full-on. Oh,
that belt weighed like
the belt. The belt buckle was like a friggin' ab workout in itself, I think, to carry it down. And I'm like, through this thing, I reduced it from 65 pounds down to the limit they wanted, and then. But
you should have seen me. I'm in like shorts and a tank top with belt and like my hat, and I look like an idiot.
It's like skiers that go skiing and are like, I'm not paying money to get my ski boots over. I'm wearing them on the plane, kind of thing. That is exactly how Emily was dressed.
Yeah, somebody probably snapped a photo of that and have.
Oh, we snapped it for sure. It was awesome, but we have. The amount of stuff like that the CrossFitters get,
I've been very fortunate,
and we've been so lucky to get it back. And luckily,
but the games, you're right. The games is the huge one. That one's fun.
So I don't.
Do you get stuff from? Does Hustle send you stuff for the games, or just for like semifinals?
They'll send me throughout. I mean, you can't. Okay. I can't be wearing. You have to wear the games uniform when you're competing. But when I go to check in, when I'm like the days before,
on a podcast,
I'm wearing Hustle, so it's good to have a wardrobe there too.
Yeah, and at semis you get to wear that the whole way through, right? And
which is fun.
Yeah. So you're not doing all of the events this year.
No,
you already said that. Are there ones that you have more fun at?
I think it varies by the year and where I'm at in the season, and they've all been like we've had. Yeah, I mean they're all fun in their own special way.
They've just released Dubai's dates today. I saw.
No, that's just the qualifier.
No,
dates
no,
second.
they released the days.
Yeah.
It's
So,
December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Oh, it's
Correct.
earlier.
And it's at the Coca-Cola Stadium this time as well.
I saw that.
Arena, sorry, Coca-Cola Arena, which is actually not too far away from the Jumeirah Palms. Not that I've been to Dubai or anything. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I love Rogue because of just they make it look so cool.
Rogue was cool.
But Wapalooza to me is like a
Oh.
CrossFit family reunion.
Yeah. Wapalooza is like
It's
a
a party.
Yeah,
Like
it's
a fun party.
Yeah.
And you can't walk more than 3 steps without running into somebody you know.
Yeah.
True story. Yeah. And
Yeah,
everybody-
Wapalooza is fun. And like yeah, they just include everyone. So everyone can go. It's not just elites only, it's fun.
Yeah, as long as you don't have weather delays on the last day.
Yeah. Torrential rain.
Yeah. People are still
So I do have to ask an important question. Have you learned to swim without taking in water?
Haven't practiced that. I'm swimming a lot, but you know when you swim and you just like with the water, it just like comes in, you spit it out constantly. I think that still happens.
Yeah, that might be the problem.
Yeah.
It won't happen to me again, Scott. It can't
Can't.
happen again.
Oh, of course it can't.
Hopefully it's in a pool, right? That's what they've kind of led us to believe.
Yeah, where did we see that?
It was on a post of some kind, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Bosman post.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe
You can't trust any of that stuff, though.
yeah.
No.
They're
I'm
always
not
playing with
going
you.
to be swimming in Madison before the games. Whereas last year, I think I did a couple times, like the week before. So I had a couple doses, and then maybe the third dose was too much.
She was in the lake where all the local people of Madison were going, well, what are you doing? And Emma's like, what? They're like, that's poisonous. And she's full on trying to swim, and there's ducks moving out of the way. Oh, I'll have some. Oh, this would taste
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, there was one point.
Emma McQuaid said that she actually jumped in a lake in Ireland and it was
yeah.
contaminated. And we were like, well, that's one way to proof your body out for that when you get to Madison.
Yeah, she'll be immune. She'll have immunity.
Or she'll lose all of her weight, like through an eye of a needle.
And then,
Jeez. Yeah, we've got Eco Life Scare here at the moment, haven't we? In Vancouver.
yeah, our oceans can't go in there.
So we got to figure that out before Madison. You're training with Pat coming up?
Coming up?
Or did you just...
The plan is to go next week, yeah. I was like, how did I... I told you that.
You told me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When we were trying to schedule, you're like, oh, this weekend I'm going there. And what's it like training with him? Because we talked to Jeff Adler and he said that like they are so different from each other, the two of them.
Oh yeah.
But he loves Pat and he loves like that he's so laid back and so cool. It's even to the point where like if he loses to him, he's like, you know what, it's just Pat. I'm okay with it.
He's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff and Pat are very different. Jeff is a lot more like hard on himself. He's serious. Like Pat's like,
I'll come 32nd in a swim and still
right.
Games.
I'll still get on the podium somehow.
Yeah.
Pat's like Jeff's more I would say like analytical looking at workouts, and I'll ask Pat like, oh, what do you think? And you'll just be like, just beat them or you're better than them. Like, okay, but like he's just very
he's awesome. I mean, he knows himself so well as an athlete as well. Like we talk about the analytical side of stuff. Like he knows like I'll do this and this time, that and that time. And then he'll be like, okay, now I've got to do it in this time and that time. Okay, let's go. And he just does it.
And he's very like independent. Like he knows himself so well. Whereas me, I'd be like, Kyle, what do I do for this? Whereas Pat just like already knows what he's doing and I mean, that comes with experience, and he's been a games athlete for a lot longer than I have, and I think, but
You're getting
he's
there,
good for
yeah.
that.
But he's again, he's such a nice, pleasant guy. Like he's, nothing's ever too much for him. Like in regards to talking to Emily or whatever and going through.
No, he's
stuff.
never above anyone.
Yeah, he is exactly the person you see. He's such a laid down guy, and he's fun. He's a lot of fun to be around as well. Like he's highly entertaining.
Well, I just watched the Next Generation, and you see him and Medeiros bantering, backstage, and he says to Medeiros, "I've got a kid now, like, could you like slow it down? You're taking money away from him." And he was like, "Should I show you a picture before the next event so that you could like maybe cool it down a little bit?"
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Yeah, he is that funny.
I had a
as well.
baby now.
Yeah.
And it's
Don't
funny
take his
that
lunch money.
the week when his baby was born last year, we had Atlas Games, which we did together because it was online. And we were getting our second doses for our COVID injection too.
Mhm.
And I booked mine after Atlas Games because I was like, oh, I don't want it to like kill me a little bit before I have to compete. And Pat was like, and he goes and does his gets his jab like 4 days before Atlas Games, and then his kid's born like 3 days before, so he doesn't sleep for like 3 days, and then he goes and wins Atlas Games. And I was like, maybe I'm taking this too seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
You laugh about it though, but like when you take out some of the seriousness and you don't be so competitive and you don't put that stress on you. Well, Kristen Holt too, didn't she do really well again in the CrossFit Open? Didn't I see?
Yeah.
They're like, you take all that pressure off, and all of a sudden, you relax a little, and you just go out there and do what you want. Like he clearly knows how good he. Well, not to. He's not big-headed about it, but he knows how good he is. He knows what he's got to do, and he goes and does it. And then you see, this is no disrespect, but the less experienced athletes or whatever, and they go, well, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. I'm going to go out like hot snot, and then all of a sudden they just die.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It shows that experience and that they don't get peer pressured into stuff. You saw it with CrossFit the Open when Pat did a competition against Noah Olsen. Olsen goes out super fast, and granted, Olsen goes out super fast and everything.
Yeah, that's just the type of athlete he is.
And Pat's like, you know what, Noah, you do your thing, and then I'm just gonna casually walk on by and beat you in the last bit, right? Like,
yeah, he just compete. He's mature.
Yeah,
he competes mature.
Yeah,
like Mallow.
He's a dad now, so he's super mature.
Yeah.
So he's what?
I said he's a dad now, so he's super mature, obviously.
Yeah, well,
we're not going that far. Michelle's mature now.
We talked to Kristen actually that right during the Open this year, and she says she wished she would have known how much more fun it could be taking the pressure off. And it was easier, and she actually did better in the Open with all that pressure off than all those years she put the pressure on.
And I think she was doing the workouts at like 10 p.m. too, because she was trying to get them up for her team or whatever before.
And then she did the quarterfinals all in one day.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's a stressful, even though now the Open's not as bad because it's like pretty easy for an athlete of my caliber to make it through, but it's still like, it's a stress fest that nobody really likes. So you associate that kind of negative thing with it, right? And you're just, I just got to get through, and so I can see that. Maybe I'll find out one day.
Yeah, a couple quick fun questions. How did you celebrate after Granite Games?
How we always celebrate: go to Cheesecake Factory. And we didn't go to Vegas.
Not this time.
That'll be after the games.
That was one of my next questions.
Yeah.
I tried to branch out this year. I was like, where else can we go? Boys, like, let's go somewhere else other than Vegas. And they just
So,
If it's not broken, why would you fix it?
I'm curious. So, what's your since you've been to the Bahamas and around? What's one of your bucket list travel places?
Been there.
I've already been there. It's not a bucket list then.
No,
Where?
New Zealand.
New Zealand, yeah.
Oh,
I would, New Zealand, piece of my heart left there for sure. I would like to go to like somewhere over there.
Bali or something.
Bali.
Bali or Fiji or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to?
Indonesia somewhere.
Awesome.
over there.
Somewhere with blue waters and was it a house on the water kind of thing she wants to get.
Bahamas was like that though.
Yeah, for sure.
Where you can go swimming and not get sick when you take the water in.
Yeah.
Or
You
eaten
can
by
see
pigs.
crystal clear water.
There you go.
That was
when are you
my
guys getting?
motivation. Sorry. That last workout at Wapalooza, I was like stuck between, I don't know, 8th or whatever. And I had the opportunity to move up one spot, which was $1,000 difference. And I was like thinking it was like 50 devil press, 55 devil press. And I was like, if I get this, I can go swimming with the pigs. It'll pay for it. And so I was just like going like mad. Made a little deal with myself.
You don't ever say that out loud, though, do you?
No, I was just thinking it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
She's usually shouting
People beside you might be like, "What?
If I complete this, Kyle, I'm going to swim with you."
Watch this, Kyle.
In your face.
Yeah.
No,
There better be an apology note on my phone when I'm done."
I'm still angry at you. No, she's we're pretty lucky that we make
We kind of started going on a trip, like after big competitions, just to kind of unwind. And usually we had a few more days off work. So we just thought, it's hard to travel when I'm competing because, I'm worried about training or finding somewhere to train or like eating my usual food or like so it's nice to just kind of chill out, eat whatever I want, like not have to worry about getting to the gym. And after competition is the perfect time to do it. And we both have it off. So that's kind of a tradition now.
And my cortisol levels go from here down as well.
Kyle just crashes hard.
I do. It's so bad. Like I look at, I mean, we wear these all the time or whatever and stuff, but like my heart rate variability goes crazy. Like it's ridiculous.
Because he doesn't sleep when I'm competing really, because you're up like analyzing, like thinking, like writing down my starting weights, like he's doing all that and it's constantly changing throughout the competition. So you can only do so much before we go. And then it's like, what's happening? So I very much appreciate you.
Thank you, sweet.
Well, the key question for Kyle is, do you prefer the American breakfast or the 2 eggs, bacon, and potatoes?
So I'll explain this to Amy then.
Okay.
It's exactly the same. And yet, yes, it is. They called it the American breakfast. What was the other name for it, Scott?
English breakfast.
No.
They said American breakfast, and the other one was just what it was. It was described out. 2 eggs, bacon, and potatoes.
What's the American breakfast?
Is this like Granite Games?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Me and you had a good old chuckle about it. I was like, so what you're saying is it's just that abbreviated to the American breakfast? I went, yeah. I went, okay, well, in that case, I'll have 2 eggs. Jesus. So, yeah. So,
it was weird getting food there because, like, it was at that professional football. It's like they're secluded and there's nothing around it. So, I mean, as an athlete, it'd be great. You had everything there. You focus, you train, you go to the chiropractor, like everything was there. The surgeon was there, orthopedic surgeon, like everything was there. But food-wise for you guys, it was kind of
well, it was either
it
was a restaurant or you got an Uber Eats or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they had that little cafe that was out of half of the stuff, and then they had the restaurant or Uber Eats, and that was all you had.
That restaurant did do good pizzas though.
You guys,
They did.
Twice.
The sea bass was really good.
Oh wow, that sounds really fancy. I had a full-on meat feast pizza.
I was trying to be healthy. I saw that you were doing so well on your weight loss. I was trying to catch up.
I'm still going. Still got a goal to meet. Still going, but it's coming along.
So when are you guys getting to Madison?
a weekish before.
Weekish.
Yeah, 29th, 30th, something.
Yeah, 29th.
Okay.
What about you?
Well, we need to get credentials.
Oh.
Hey, CrossFit. We applied first day. Hello.
We would like that.
All the photographers are getting their credentials now, but we don't seem to be getting ours.
Wow. Okay.
So I guess, Kyle, we're really not that big of a deal.
They'll learn. They'll learn.
Okay. All right. Let them know, would you?
Yeah, because they'll go.
You got a direct line to
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So now that you're a games veteran, anything different in the way you prep for the games this year compared to other years?
Yeah. I think nothing different. I think I'm just smarter. I think the first year when I made the games, I did anything and everything. I was like, oh, games. I'm going to the games. I have to do everything. And just like, and now that I've been through a few injuries in the last 3 years and, you know, I'm older, I'm 3 years older. I think I'm just training a lot smarter.
She's physically more older anyway. Mentally, we're not so sure. I might have deteriorated, but
Yeah.
But yeah, still the same kind of things, but just less of some things and more of others. And yeah.
And you just like
taking care of my body a little bit more.
Yeah.
And having the home gym, does that help a lot?
Oh yeah, especially with work. Like it just cuts the travel to the gym and back. And usually I'll do one session at the gym because there's things I can't do at home. Muscle ups, wall balls, rope climbs, those kind of things. But yeah, like my third session today was just rowing intervals. So it's perfect. I can just do it at home. Yeah, it's nicer because I have food here and I have shower here. And, you know, sometimes it's quite mentally draining to be at the gym all day. So it's nice to split it up, drive home. Yeah.
And it also allows me as well, because I'm usually on a pretty tight schedule, that I can coach Emily and whatever a little bit easier. That's what
Kyle's been coaching me on night. He's on night shift. So I'll like wake him up and he'll like roll down the stairs, like half sleeping. And
legit sometimes roll down the stairs as well. Not intentionally, but it happens.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So that's nice for me because like he's not going 20 minutes to the gym before a shift. And, like he doesn't have time. He needs to sleep. And so that's been advantageous for sure.
Yeah, I told Emily I work from home, and even though I have to stay up late to do this one, it's okay because all I have to do is like kind of get into my chair and roll to my desk in the morning, and I'm good to go.
It was it 10 o'clock out there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you said that's late, Scott?
Yeah.
He's up early. Maybe he's up early.
What time did you get up?
I was up at 4 a.m. today.
Okay, first of all, there's not 2 4 o'clocks in a day. Okay, so don't lie to me. There's only 1 4 o'clock. And
4 a.m. is early.
I know. I'm probably. I mean, me and Emily couldn't be two polar opposites if we tried any more than we already are. Because I'm a very much because 70% of my shifts are on nights.
Okay.
So I work. So literally, I'll be like, "Hi, good morning," and it's, I'm off to work, and I'm like, "I'm going to bed." And that's why we're still so happily married. So.
Yeah, I used to be a night owl, Kyle. That's my. If I didn't have to work, that would be my thing. I would stay up late, sleep in the morning. But now this work thing.
What's the sleep in?
Yeah. I don't know anymore, really.
Sleeping. Oh, sounds luxurious. Must be nice.
So my last question for you guys is, I was talking to Ariel the other night, and what is going to be more fun, the athlete dinner or the bro sesh dinner?
Okay.
Yes.
So Ariel and I were talking about the athlete dinner because she didn't have any info yet. Good thing people can't see your face right now.
They can see my face.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, privileged to see this.
Anyways, and she didn't have any info yet. So I was telling her, oh, it's Sunday, it's on this day or whatever. And she's like, oh, by the way, okay, Dylan has already asked Kyle out on a date that night. They're going to go for dinner. And I was like, oh, like, and we were joking. And I was like, Kyle's going to accept his rose for sure. Like,
well, now I feel bad because
Kyle and Dylan are going on a date. So yeah,
she was saying
more fun than we do.
She was asking me when I was getting there and if I wanted to go to the bro sesh dinner, but I didn't realize it was a rose ceremony and I should probably not be the third wheel.
I feel like you should bring a rose and see if you can get accepted, actually, is what you should do.
It's good. I'm glad that Kyle has people to hang out with too, because really, like, as a coach, sometimes it's kind of awkward you drop your athlete off. I've got all my girlfriends, whatever. Hi, like we do our thing, and they're kind of waiting for our text. 2 hours later, okay, we'll text you when you're done. And like, what do they go do? Like, so it's nice that there's a group of them that can go and do their thing. And
It's gonna be
you've done that with
awesome.
Yami before.
Yeah,
It's just nice they can do stuff too.
Well, I hope at the dinner they have the American breakfast.
No. We're having dinner, not breakfast. Breakfast breakfast is compulsory. Dinner. Yeah. If you're there on July, I think it's the 31st. I think it's the athletes dinner. Is that right? Yeah. So
yeah, it's early.
If you happen to be there, Scott, come on down.
And bring my rose.
Yeah.
Bring a rose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got to see Dylan in a while. He was hiding it at Syndicate. They were really weird about family being close to the floor until the last day.
Oh, weird. Yeah, and then they got to line up right behind their lane. I noticed the family.
Yeah. And it was stupid because on TV, then it looked like nobody was there.
Yeah.
Because they kept so many people out of the end area that it was empty.
Yeah.
And then finally they're like, well, let the family go in there. And finally it looked like a real competition.
Yeah. Weird.
And then the next week at the MAC, they changed that all around.
Yeah.
Why were they not doing it at Syndicate?
This is why it's lucky Kyle is both.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes the coaches get screwed.
Yeah,
because
sometimes
they're
you get a
with
crappy
you.
area and you're like, oh, it would have been better if you were just a spectator or something. But
Yeah, I talked to Justin Collar and he said sometimes it's easier to watch on TV from the back than to try to get a seat.
It's funny you say that. A lot of coaches will have their cell phone or whatever because you can actually do some reviewing of, because the majority of the coverage is going to be on the leaders of that heat or whatever.
Yeah.
You can look at it and go, okay, they're here, and here. And then they do that. And then they'll be like, okay, you need to do this and this. It's not uncommon.
Yeah. Well, someone was proposing that there should have a coach's dedicated area close to the floor that you can go out and see your athletes.
yeah.
And it's kind of reserved for you.
Yeah, because at the games, it's really hard. Like sometimes I didn't see you for like 3 hours. And in that time, I had like puked up a ton. I won an event. Something else happened. Like, and then finally I see Kyle. Like finally the coach is in. It's like,
I kind of get why they don't want, and especially at the games where they don't want the coaches in the warm-up areas and stuff like that. And certainly the pre-stage warm-up area.
it's small. There's not.
They don't want it to be overcrowded. They also don't want, I mean, they've had a lot of them with the COVID situation as well, right? So they probably been considering all that, but it's it can be challenging for not being able to see athletes or give them cues or whatever. But again,
Maybe we'll get me an American phone plan this time.
maybe, yeah.
I always turn my phone off because it's costly, when you're roaming. And so I never use my phone. And then I'm like, oh, it would be good to communicate with my coach right now.
But at the same time, you'll probably get other people bugging you or whatever, right? And you don't want that. So it's a fine line.
Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for jumping on. It's always a blast. We can't wait to see you in Madison and catch up. It's one of these years, I just got to head to Vegas too.
Yeah. Everyone's invited. After party. That's where it's at.
Yeah. Exactly. And they do some really
I loved it.
Yeah. Because everything's about
we did West Coast Classic.
Yeah.
What was that, Kyle? Sorry.
They do absolutely amazing food there as well. The Venetian waffles. Yeah. Oh, my days. I don't even like waffles, but I love them.
Well, guys, thanks a lot. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Bye.